Have you ever noticed that as you've gotten older, it takes a little longer to get things going down there? Or maybe that familiar sense of arousal just doesn't come as easily as it used to? You're not alone. Many men over 75 quietly struggle with this change, and most of them don't talk about it, not even with their doctor. But here's the truth. What you're feeling isn't the end of your intimate life. In fact, it could be the beginning of something better if you learn how to reconnect your body with one simple, gentle routine. I'm Dr. Nolan Easton, and after more than 30 years of working with men's health, I've seen hundreds of men in their 70s and 80s rediscover their sense of vitality, not with pills, not with surgery, but by understanding how the body's hidden muscles work. And when I say hidden muscles, I mean the pelvic floor, the silent foundation of your manhood. Let me tell you about someone who reminds me of many of my patients. His name is George. He's 77, a retired engineer, married for 50 years, and in most ways, he's doing great. But when he came to me, he said, "Doc, I still feel desire in my head, but my body doesn't seem to listen anymore." George wasn't depressed. He wasn't ill. He was just disconnected. He didn't realize that over the years, the muscles that once supported his bladder, his posture, and yes, his arousal had weakened quietly, little by little. You see, most men think of strength as something you can see, biceps, chest, maybe legs. But the pelvic floor is different. It's deep inside, supporting the bladder, prostate, and even helping control the blood flow that creates and sustains arousal. When those muscles weaken, you might notice slower responses, softer erections, or even small leaks of urine when you cough or laugh. These are all signs your pelvic floor is asking for attention. The good news? These muscles can be retrained at any age. And no, this isn't about doing sit-ups or running laps. What I'm about to show you is something anyone, yes, even men in their 80s, can do from a chair without strain. George started with just 5 minutes a day. Within 2 weeks, he began to feel more in control of his bladder. But more importantly, he told me something else. I started feeling more alive down there again, like the connection was coming back. That's when I knew he was on the right track. Because when blood flow improves through stronger pelvic muscles, the body's natural signals for arousal begin to return. You feel more responsive, not forced, not mechanical, but natural again. Now, before we get deeper into the steps of this gentle routine in the next section, I want you to understand something important. This isn't just about performance, it's about confidence, dignity, and reconnecting with a part of yourself that aging tries to take away. And it's fully within your control to bring it back. So here's what I'd like you to do. As you listen, ask yourself honestly, do you ever notice less sensation, less firmness, or less control than you used to have? If your answer is yes, then this routine might be one of the simplest, most natural changes you can make. And if you're finding this conversation helpful already, please tap that like button. It tells me and my team that you value this kind of honest, age-friendly talk about men's health. And go ahead and subscribe if you haven't yet. It helps me keep sharing this kind of information. Leave a quick yes or no in the comments below if you've ever noticed these changes in yourself, because I do read your comments and I use them to shape the next topics we talk about together. When George came back after a month, he looked like a different man, not because he'd suddenly turned back time, but because he'd found something men often lose with age: control. He said, "Dr. Easton, I didn't know how much I'd missed this until it came back." His wife noticed too. The tenderness in their relationship deepened, not just physically, but emotionally, because he felt capable again. When George first started his journey, he was nervous. Like many men, he thought pelvic exercises were only for women or something that would be too difficult at his age. But what surprised him, and what surprises most of my patients, is how gentle and simple it really is. You don't need a gym, you don't need equipment, and you certainly don't need to break a sweat. You just need a few minutes, a quiet space, and a bit of focus. I'm Dr. Nolan Easton,
And today I want to help you understand exactly how to connect with those deep pelvic muscles in a safe, comfortable way. Because when you do, something remarkable happens. Blood flow improves, control returns, and with it, so does sensitivity and arousal. Let's start with the basics. The pelvic floor is like a small hammock made of muscles that stretch between your tailbone and your pubic bone. It holds your bladder, bowel, and prostate in place. When these muscles tighten and release properly, they help control everything from urination to sexual function. But when they get weak, the signals that used to move freely between your brain and your body become sluggish. So here's how we help them wake up again. Sit comfortably on a firm chair, feet flat on the floor, shoulders relaxed. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you exhale, imagine gently drawing in the muscles at the base of your pelvis, like you're trying to stop yourself from passing gas. It's not your stomach or your thighs doing the work. It's that subtle pull deep inside. Hold that feeling for a count of 3, then release slowly. That's it. That's the foundation of your pelvic floor exercise. Now, you might feel almost nothing at first, and that's completely fine. These muscles have been quiet for decades, and just like an old radio, it takes a few tries before the signal comes through clearly again. George couldn't feel much the first week, but by the end of the week 2, he said, "Doc, it's like my body's waking up again." That's exactly what happens. Your nerves begin re-engaging, your circulation improves, and that subtle spark of life you thought was gone starts to return. The key is consistency, not intensity. Think of it like watering a plant. Too much all at once, and you drown it. But a little every day helps it grow strong roots. So I tell my patients 5 minutes a day, morning or night, whichever feels easiest. You can even do it while sitting in your recliner or brushing your teeth. No one will know. As you build awareness, you can gently add variations. Try a few quick squeezes, tighten and release, followed by one longer hold. Always breathe normally. Never strain. You're not lifting weights. You're retraining the mind-body connection. After a few weeks, something special begins to happen. You start to notice improved control when you use the restroom. You might also feel a subtle warmth or fullness in your pelvic area, a sign that blood flow is returning. And for many men, that translates directly into improved arousal and firmer, more natural responses. Not forced, not artificial, but the body doing what it was meant to do. George's wife, Linda, noticed first. She told me he walks differently now, more upright, more confident. That's the other benefit no one talks about. When your pelvic floor strengthens, your posture improves, and your confidence rises. You move like yourself again. If you're following along at home, I'd love to know, have you ever tried exercises like this before? Go ahead and type a quick yes or no in the comments below. I personally review them to see how many men are taking these small but powerful steps for themselves. And if you're learning something new today, take a moment to like this video and subscribe, because I truly believe more men over 70 deserve to hear this message. Now here's something else I tell my patients. Don't chase perfection. Some days you'll forget. Some days you'll only remember halfway through your evening news. That's fine. The beauty of this routine is that it meets you where you are. Even small, mindful effort each day adds up.
When George came in for his third follow-up, I could see it in his walk before he even sat down. Something had changed. His shoulders were back, his steps were more steady, and that shy, uncertain energy he once carried had melted into quiet confidence. He said, "Dr. Easton, I didn't just get control back, I got me back." And that's something I hear time and time again from men who stick with this simple routine. I'm Dr. Nolan Easton, and I want to talk with you about why this gentle pelvic floor practice doesn't just help with arousal, it helps your whole body feel younger, stronger, and more responsive. Because what's happening inside your pelvis affects everything from your lower back to your balance and even your emotional well-being.
You see, as we age, gravity and years of sitting take a toll on the muscles that support the base of our spine and hips. The pelvic floor isn't working in isolation. It's part of a system that supports your posture, your bladder, your bowels, and yes, your circulation. When it weakens, you might notice more than just sexual changes. Maybe a bit of lower back pain, a heavier feeling in your lower abdomen, or small leaks of urine when you cough or lift something. All of these are subtle signals from your body asking for help. When George began his exercises, he didn't realize he was doing more than improving his arousal. He was helping his posture and even his digestion. Within a few weeks, his back pain began to ease. That's because a stronger pelvic floor gives better support to the spine. Your body alignment improves, and so does your energy. You breathe deeper, move easier, and stand taller. Now let's talk about blood flow. One of the biggest reasons men over 75 notice a decline in arousal is reduced circulation to the pelvic area. When those muscles tighten and release through gentle exercise, they act like a pump, drawing blood back into the area, feeding the tissues, reawakening nerves, and helping your body respond again. You don't need a magic pill to make that happen. Your body already knows how to do it, it just needs a reminder. And remember, this isn't about force or tension. Many men make the mistake of squeezing too hard, thinking more is better. But that's like tightening your fist all day. Eventually, it just gets tired. The real goal is balance, to strengthen the muscles and teach them to relax fully afterward. That relaxation is what allows blood to flow freely, giving you that sense of warmth and vitality again. If you're listening right now and thinking, "This sounds simple enough, but I'm not sure it'll make a difference at my age," I want to encourage you to start anyway. I've seen results in men in their late 80s who thought they were too far gone. One of my oldest patients, Harold, 84 years old, told me after 6 weeks, "Doc, it feels like my body is listening to me again." That's what this routine does. It rebuilds communication between your brain, your muscles, and your sense of self. Now, if you've been trying these exercises for a week or 2 weeks and haven't noticed much yet, please don't give up. These muscles take time to wake up. Think of it like tuning an old instrument. You don't hear the perfect note right away, but every adjustment brings you closer. Some men notice subtle sensations first, a little more fullness, warmth, or strength when they stand. Others begin to notice firmer erections or fewer nighttime bathroom trips. All of these are subtle signals from your body asking for help. And before we continue, if this message is resonating with you, if you're starting to understand how this simple practice could restore not just your function, but your confidence, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. It helps this message reach other men who are quietly struggling and may be too embarrassed to ask for help. And please, leave a yes or no in the comments if you've started trying these exercises. I read every one of them, and your feedback tells me what's working for real people. Now, I want to touch on something that often surprises my patients, the emotional side. When you start feeling more in control of your body again, something happens to your mood. You feel more grounded, more alive. Many men tell me they start sleeping better, feeling less anxious, and reconnecting emotionally with their partners. That's because the pelvic floor is tied to the body's core, not just physically, but energetically. When you strengthen it, you restore a sense of stability that ripples through your entire being. When George came in for his 6-month visit, I didn't even recognize him at first. The tired look in his eyes was gone. He stood taller, spoke with energy, and laughed easily. "Dr. Easton, I didn't realize how much of myself I'd lost until I started getting it back." And that's something I want every man watching this video to hear. because George didn't do anything extreme. He didn't spend hours at the gym or take risky pills. He just practiced a gentle 5-minute pelvic floor routine every day, and he kept showing up for himself. I'm Dr. Nolan Easton, and if you've followed along this far, you already know this simple routine can change more than your physical health. It can bring back your confidence, your intimacy, and your sense of vitality. But here's the key most men miss. It's not just about doing the exercises, it's about living with awareness of these muscles every single day. Let's take a step back for a moment. Think about your posture right now. Are you slumped in your chair or are you sitting tall? Try straightening up a bit. Feel the weight of your body press evenly through your hips. Now very gently, tighten your pelvic muscles for 3 seconds and then release. That small, quiet movement does more than you think. It reminds your body that it still has power, control, and coordination. Every time you do it, you're reinforcing that message. I'm still here. I'm still strong. George told me something I'll never forget. He said, "At first, I was doing it for my body, but now I do it for my confidence. I walk differently. I feel different." That's the beauty of this practice. It doesn't just restore function, it restores identity. Now, if you've been doing these exercises for a few weeks or months, you might already be noticing subtle improvements. Better bladder control, more frequent morning erections, a greater sense of warmth or connection in your pelvic area. Those are all signs that your body is responding. Keep going. But if you're just starting and haven't noticed much yet, don't be discouraged. Progress happens quietly at first. The body heals slowly, but it does heal, even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. I tell my patients to make this practice part of their everyday rhythm. You can do it while reading the